The luxury life of the Japan royal family. Have you ever wondered, how lavish should a royal family's lifestyle be? Many people in the United States think of the balcony at Buckingham Palace when they hear the phrase royal family. But many other nations also have royal families that have a long and illustrious history as well as a certain degree of pomp and ceremony. We have a good understanding of the family trees of a number of royal families from other countries, including those of the British, Spanish, and Danish houses. But what about the emperor and the rest of the Japanese royal family? Who are the Japanese royal family, and how is their lifestyle? Let's get it on. The present emperor of Japan is named Naruhito, and he is the eldest child of the late emperor Akihito and his wife, the late empress Michiko. Since 2019, he has effectively assumed leadership responsibilities for the Japanese imperial family. He got married to Empress Masako, who got her education from both Oxford and Harvard. And in June 1993, the couple exchanged vows, and Masako became just the second commoner in Japan to wed the heir apparent at that time, the first being her mother-in-law, Michiko. In 2019, Naruhito's father, Emperor Akihito, made the decision to abdicate the chrysanthemum throne. This made his eldest son the 126th monarch to sit on the chrysanthemum throne. And in October of 2019, he and Masako had the solemn ceremony that established them on their respective thrones in Tokyo, Japan. The emperor and empress have only ever had one kid, and that child, Aiko, is currently enrolled in Gakushuin University studying Japanese literature. As a result of the fact that only men in the direct male line of lineage are authorized to govern as king in Japan, she does not have any legal claim to the throne. And like many of us, the emperor has a sibling who is named Prince Akishino. He was crowned as the crown prince in a ceremony that took place in November 2020. This established him as the official first in line for the throne. But you might be wondering, what is the role of the emperor in Japan? What does it take to be an emperor? In regards to how far the imperial system in Japan has developed, the present emperor only has a symbolic meaning in the Japanese constitution and no actual power. Following World War II, the Japanese constitution made it abundantly clear that the emperor did not have the authority to participate in the activities of the government in any capacity. This was also revealed by Emperor Hirohito, who issued an edict on January 1, 1946, called the Human Declaration. The edict explicitly stated that the emperor was a human rather than a god. He did this in order to avoid guilt and maintain the continuation of the Japanese imperial system. So, despite holding a status that is superior to that of the prime minister, the emperor solely serves in a ceremonial capacity as the head of state and has no real power. The Constitution of Japan from 1946 stipulated, among other things, that the whole property of the Japanese royal family belonged to the state. Additionally, all expenditures made by the royal family are required to be included in the national budget and settled by the Diet, which is the national legislator. So what kind of a lifestyle do they have? If you take a look at a book published in 2003 with the title Royal Family Finances, the financial position of members of the royal families of a variety of previously unknown nations was detailed. This book, which was written by the Japanese author Yohei Mori, offered a fascinating look into the lavish lifestyle of the Japanese emperor and other members of the royal family. Surprisingly, in the book it is estimated that the annual spending budget of the Japanese royal family may reach a staggering 2.5 billion yen. For hundreds of years, members of the Japanese imperial family kept their business transactions secret and almost never committed them to writing. But recently it was revealed that the majority of the annual budget allocated to the Japanese royal family is spent on the salaries paid to the members of the royal family, as well as the financial, material, and human resources required to keep the palace operating smoothly. The imperial couples and the crown prince's family living expenses are covered by the imperial fee. The living expenses of the other members of the royal family are covered by the royal fee, and the expenditures spent by the royal family in handling state business are covered by the court fee. Surprisingly, this portion of the revenue earned by members of the royal family is exempt from taxes and does not have to be turned over to the treasury. Nevertheless, the palace fees are reviewed by the cabinet meeting, and any remaining balance must be paid back to the government. The post-World War II Constitution of Japan makes reference to the royal fee that is paid to the Japanese royal family. This is despite the fact that both the emperor and the empress have access to a significant number of other revenue streams. But what do they own? What kind of assets and luxury do they possess? In Japan, the royal family has access to a number of state-owned estates that have been set aside specifically for their use. The most famous of them is the Imperial Palace in Tokyo, which is occupied by the Japanese imperial family and serves as their official residence. It is in the middle of the city, to the west of Tokyo Station. It's built upon the ruins of Edo Castle, which served as the historical administrative center of the feudal Tokugawa shogunate. And when it comes to the access to the Imperial Palace's grounds, which span 1.15 million square feet, it's provided through 9 gates that are strategically placed around the grounds. However, the public does not have access to the residential section to the west, which is reserved exclusively for the imperial couple. The Higashi Goen is the only part of the park that is open to the public. However, during the cherry blossom and autumn foliage seasons, people are allowed to stroll down Inui Street and take in the natural scenery. Nevertheless, the royal grounds are home to a vast variety of flora and animals, including fruit and nut-bearing trees, insect colonies, and even tanuki colonies. And if you take a look at the Akasaka estate, it's home to several mansions that belong to different generations of the royal family. It is situated on a piece of land that is somewhat more than 500,000 square feet, roughly equivalent to half the size of the Imperial Palace. In the spring and fall, the Akasaka Imperial Gardens in the south are the location of garden parties hosted by the Emperor and Empress of Japan. These celebrations are attended by prominent members of Japanese society. Several imperial mansions outside of Tokyo make up the royal family's vacation homes. These properties are located in various parts of Japan. If you take a look at the Nasu Imperial Villa in Tochigi Prefecture, it has been rather fashionable as a vacation destination in recent years. There's also the Hayama Imperial Villa, which can be found in Kanagawa Prefecture and is situated on the water's edge of Sagami Bay. It's yet another one of the royal family's favorite places to spend their summer vacations. And that's not all. There is the Suzaki Imperial Villa, which can be found at Shimoda and located in the Shizuoka Prefecture. It is situated in an isolated spot on the eastern shore of the Izu Peninsula, and it features its own private beach. And now to one of the most interesting parts, the stunning car collection owned by the royal family. One of the cars they own is the Toyota Century, which was specifically modified for the family. It was only a one-drop-top version of the third-generation Toyota Century that was manufactured in order to accommodate Emperor Naruhito's coronation procession on October 22, 2019. This automobile has a fixed backrest, a rear seat that was slightly elevated, and gold imperial seals on the outside. They also own the Rolls-Royce Corniche 3, which was used in both the coronation ceremony of the previous emperor and Naruhito's wedding in 1993. According to CNET Roadshow, a royal automobile should be based on a Japanese-made car, be larger than other cars in the area, be secure and environmentally friendly, be practical for daily driving, and have a back seat that is the appropriate size so that the royal passengers can be seen. And it seems like the only car that would have been appropriate for the coronation would have been the Toyota Century. So, in 2006, the royal family began utilizing specially modified examples of the second generation of the Century limousine. And today, in addition to the convertible, they own 4 of the standard models as well. But wait a minute, do they own any jets? The Japanese government owns 2 Boeing 777-300ER aircrafts for international travel by the Emperor, the Prime Minister, and other senior officials. These aircraft are used for official business by the Japanese government. Each plane has the capacity to carry 140 people and may be utilized to transport personnel of the Japan Self-Defense Forces overseas, as well as to evacuate Japanese nationals in the event of an emergency. Moreover, the Hinomaru insignia is painted on the tail and wings of the aircraft, while red and gold stripes are painted around the fuselage of the aircraft. The jet has an office that is located on the bottom deck of the aircraft, and it's most frequently used by the Prime Minister. However, it is also available for use by other VIPs and members of the imperial family. And when it comes to the cabin, it has a separate enclosed VIP cabin with 2 seats, a conference table with chairs that can convert into beds, a secretarial room with office supplies and lie-flat seating for high officials arranged in a 2-3-2 configuration. Well, they seem to enjoy life. Anyway, what do you think of the Japan royal family lifestyle? Is it as luxurious as other royal families around the world? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more of our luxurious content. And why not click on another video showing now? This is The Luxurious. Talk to you in the next video.